Hello everyone. So continuing with our design pattern series, in this video we will cover observer design pattern. So let's get started. So we'll start with what is observer design pattern, then why we use it, how to achieve it, its code implementation in C++, and finally benefits and disadvantages. So let's get started with what is observer design pattern. So first of all, it's a behavioral design pattern, right? And the only goal of observer design pattern is to define a subscription mechanism to notify multiple subscribers about the events they are interested in. So think of a scenario where there are multiple publishers who are publishing different events, and there are a bunch of subscribers who are interested in those events. So a single subscriber could be interested in multiple publishers, and similarly a single publisher can have multiple subscribers subscribing to its events. So it is like a very famous pub/sub model, publisher subscriber model, and observer pattern is what facilitates it. So let's see, why do we first of all need observer design pattern. So consider a scenario where we have a weather station which emits different events regarding the weather updates. So if there any change in the weather, this station emits those events. Now there are multiple devices which are interested in those events, right? It could be your smartphone, your smart TV, and there are other bunch of devices which are also interested. But at this point, only two devices wants to receive those events. Like think of a scenario where you open a weather app on your phone, right? At that point you want to see what's the weather update, right? If your phone is sitting idle, you don't want weather station to send updates to you, or maybe you want, but some events you want to check yourselves. For some events you don't want to be bothered about every time. So now what could be the scenario, or what could be the way to do this? Now one way is that the device which is interested in the event can ask the weather station about the event, but the update does not happen every time, right? For example, there are updates maybe every hour, but if your phone wants to look at the update now, it will send the request to the weather station to check whether there is any update. Then it can send again and send again. So basically whenever you want to see the update, you have to request weather station again and again. So this basically wastes your resources. Rather than, what you want is, if there is an update, weather station should notify you. Now then the second way is for weather station to notify all of the interested devices. But now in this case you can see, if weather station started emitting all the events to all the devices, it might send the notifications for the devices which are not even interested at this point. So there are two ways, both ways are suboptimal. So the most optimal way is for the weather station to register the current interested devices and send notification only to those devices, and there should be a way to add devices or to remove devices from subscription. So it is like you can add your subscribers and you can remove your existing subscribers. So this is what observer pattern provides. Now there is one more thing. If weather station starts storing the information regarding its subscribers, then since these subscribers consider them of like different classes, this could be class mobile, class TV, each class will have a different methods exposed. So it will be difficult for weather station to store all of these objects which are inherently different in nature. So whenever such situation arises, there is always a way to resolve this, which is to introduce a abstraction layer between the weather station and the devices. So basically what we have to do, we have to introduce an interface between your subscribers and your publishers. So now let's see how do we achieve it. So first of all, we create an observer interface. So anyone who wants to observe or subscribe, they have to implement this observer interface, and with that they have to implement this update function, so that weather station can call this update function for that observer. Now we can have, let's say in this case, phone display and TV display, two concrete observers. They implement this update function, and weather station will send the weather information. In this case we are taking a string, and these individual observers, they can do whatever they want with that information. They can display that information, maybe they can store that information, it is up to them. But there is a consistent function update which weather station can use for all of its observers. Similarly, weather station is like a subject, or in this case we can call it publisher. So publisher and subject is synonymous. Similarly, observer and subscribers is synonymous. So as a subject, it also has to implement three functions, which is add observer, remove observer and notify observers. So any subscriber, any subject should have a capability to add new observers, to remove existing observers, and to notify all the observers if there is any update. So we create a weather station concrete subject which has all of these three functions, and it stores observers list, as we can see, and it also stores the current weather information. So this is how we are going to implement our observer design pattern. So now let's go to the code implementation. All right. So let's start with the first of all subject, or let's start with the observer. So observer in this case is an interface because it has only one function, which is virtual, and it only takes one argument, which is weather. Now you can see now we have observer devices, phone display, it implements update, and similarly TV display, because they both implement observer class, right? Similarly, update, they can do whatever they want. In this case, we are just printing the update. Phone display updated with weather. Similarly, TV display updated with weather. Now let's go to our subject. So subject is again an interface because all of its functions are virtual. So add observer, remove observer and notify observers. Now we create a weather station which implements this subject. By default, it assigns the weather string as default, and based on whenever there is any update, the weather string will be updated. Initially it has no observers, empty list, but it has a way to add, remove, notify observers. And there is also a function called set weather, which any client can call to set the weather. And once the weather, now let's see the implementation of these functions. So you can see add observer, whatever observer is passed, you just push it back in your observer list. Similarly, remove observer, remove the existing observer. Notify observer function, it iterate over all the observers and call their update function with the current weather information. And now set weather, whenever there is any update in the weather, the set weather function will be called. You update the weather and you notify all your observers whenever there is any update. So now let's look at it all together in your main class or main file. So we create a new weather station and we create two observers. We add those two observers, phone display and TV display, to our weather station, and we set the weather. So whenever you set, let's say, weather sunny, both of the observers will receive the update. Again, when you set rainy, again they will receive the update. Then what we are doing is we are removing phone display observer, and then when we set the weather, the update will only go to the TV display. So let's see. So as you can see, phone display updated with sunny, TV display updated with sunny. Similarly, for rainy, both devices receive the update, but once you remove phone display, only the TV display receive the further updates. So dynamically we can add or remove observers in your subject or in your publisher. So that's it regarding the code. Now let's finally come to its benefits and disadvantages. So benefits, so we can easily see observer design pattern is useful when change in one object require changing other objects, right? Require notifying other object regarding the change, and those objects can change dynamically, right? Think about a scenario where your observers are static, where you don't want to change your observer at any point. Then we don't need all of this. We can store the observers directly inside the weather station. But since we want to support dynamic change, you want to add and remove observers, the observer pattern comes into the picture. Second thing is if observing behavior is temporary or limited, right? Temporary means if you want to receive the notifications for a certain time, it's not permanent. As we discussed, you can remove the observers. where again observer pattern helps here, or the behavior is limited. Also, let's say the publisher basically emit multiple type of events, but you are interested in only particular type of events, so you can only subscribe to those type of events rather than subscribing to all events, right? You can also imagine where we receive a notifications, right? So we also enable only essential notification or all notifications, or maybe DND, right? So all of those settings can be easily supported using observer pattern. Third is it keeps loose connection between sender and receiver. We discuss this via the interface, because there is an interface in between. Sender doesn't need to know the concrete implementation of its receiver and vice versa. It just need to know the function it is exposing and just communicate via those functions. Finally, disadvantages. We can see additional complexity it adds if the observers don't change. As we discussed, if the observer are static, there is no need of this pattern. Second thing, which is more nuanced, is it cannot guarantee order of notification among the observers. Let's say you have 10 observers and you want to notify some set of observers first, then the other set of observers. Then there is no way to do that in observer design pattern. Why? Because you just add all of these observers in a list and you just send the notification in this order you have added. There is no basically priority here. Now we can implement it, right? You, instead of a single list of observers, you have a sort of a hierarchy, right? Top observers or primary observer, secondary observer list, and you can do that. But if you want to like have a strict order, that first notification to this observer, second notification to that is not possible, and observer design pattern is not intended for that use. Right? We can definitely modify it and support those use cases, but by default it doesn't support that. So that's it about disadvantages, and with that it finishes our discussion on observer design pattern. It is fairly simple design pattern, but again it has a very vast use cases, lot of scenarios, right? For example, news website, all the notifications are implemented using this. So yeah, I hope this video helped you understand the observer design pattern. If you found it helpful, please like the video. I have already made a lot of videos on system design. You can find it in my playlist on the screen, and if you want, and I'll be posting other system design topics as well. So if you want to stay tuned, please subscribe to the channel as well. So until then, bye everyone.